Well, the 53-man roster is officially out for the Kansas City Chiefs, and here are a few players that Chiefs fans are excited to see this year. Travis, let's get your thoughts.
All right, let's do it, baby.
Rookie wide receiver Xavier Worthy. That's right, the man with the fastest 40 time ever.
Mm-hmm.
Does that speed translate to the field? Here's some highlights.
Yes, it does.
You can watch as Travis answers this question.
I'll say this. Some guys have the speed and some guys are just football players, man. He's intelligent. He's picking up on the offense very smooth. He can see things and react it. So his reaction and his awareness is up there. And then on top of that, he has absolute speed that is unworldly. Class. Yeah. It's just on a whole nother like stratosphere in terms of his stride. Like once he gets going,
so he's a strider. That was going to be my question: is he a
don't get me wrong,
Tyreek Hill quick burst agility driven player, or is this a linear like take the top off of defense, or both?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think his stride is more relevant.
How tall is he?
Than how quick he is. I think he's right around 6 foot. He's somewhere in there. I might be lying. He might be smaller than that.
Is he taller than me?
I don't know. You're asking questions that nobody knows, Jason. 5'11". Yeah, he's 6 foot.
I mean, pretty much you're right on it.
Yeah.
When he runs, does he run like a robot, or does he have that fluidity?
No, he's fluid. He's a fluid runner. He's very smooth. That kind of comes with the stride. And I'll say this. He's like I said, he's a smart guy. So he's understanding the offense, and he's understanding when Pat is going to want to come to him on the route.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing in this offense. And that's the biggest thing kind of getting used to as a rookie is being able to see and trust what you're seeing so that you're on the same page as your quarterback. And he's doing a great job with it so far. And it's, I'm excited for him, man. He seems like one of those guys that rises up to the occasion when the lights are on. And I'm pumped for him, man. For
the life of me, I don't know why other teams keep allowing Andy Reid to draft the fastest human beings. He did it with Deshaun Jackson.
Yep.
Did it with Tyreek Hill. And now he's done it with Xavier Worthy. And it's always fun to see a fast receiver in an Andy Reid offense. God dang, he's going to dial some fun ones up.
Not right now.
All righty. There's also a new fan favorite, undrafted rookie Carson Steele. Man, that's a good football name. Is bringing the fullback back to KC.
He is. I think he's a little bit more than a fullback too. He's athletic and he can do some things with the ball in his hand. On top of that, he's a big special teams guy. Whatever you need me to do, coach, kind of guy. So you're going to be seeing some of Carson Steele, or as I like to call him, Dundee.
Dundee.
Short for Crocodile Dundee.
Is that because of the alligator that he had in the picture?
He's got a gator he's had for a while now. It was one of his birthday presents from his father, I believe.
His dad got him that. That tells you a lot about him.
Yep. Okay. And I guess you need like 100 permits to have a gator up in Indiana.
Your dad's getting you an alligator.
So don't think that he's doing this illegally.
Tough son of a gun.
You know it, man.
This is the real life Bobby Boucher, basically.
Yeah. Very good.
He sounds like a guy that I would call a tweener, where he can do a lot of different things, almost like a Kyle Juszczyk. I don't want to put him in that category until he starts playing games, but there's this world in the NFL that Kyle Shanahan and a lot of these offenses have done where you take like a guy that can play fullback, tight end, he can even split out wide, and you can all of a sudden get to all these formations. You can get to I, you can get to tight end wing, you can get to 3-by-1. Like there's a lot of different ways you can utilize a guy like this, which improves just the amount of plays and formationally what you can do.
Yeah.
I'll be curious to see how Andy starts utilizing them.
Yeah, it's another formation, another piece to the puzzle that the defense has to be ready for. And I think Andy Reid's offenses have typically had that fullback type player. We didn't necessarily have him last year, but this year we really have a guy like Carson that can do more than just what a typical fullback can do, which makes it harder on the defense to have to, account for that.
It's hard to find the guy that can do fullback and do that. Like usually the fullback guy is like a meathead. I think Anthony Sherman right away from your guys.
Baby.
Like Sherman,
one of my favorite teammates of all time.
He's the guy that everybody loves because he does all the work that nobody else wants to do, which is basically just run full speed and blast your head into this other person as hard as you can.
Yeah.
And it's rare to find a guy that's willing to do that and then also athletic enough to do all the other stuff.
Yep.
It's hard to find that guy. That guy has a ton of value if you do find one of them.
Exactly. And Sherman was a huge special teams guy as well. I'm pretty sure he filled in playing safety for us one year.
Stop.
He also was our starting running back against the Denver Broncos a few years back.
Now.
Oh yeah, Shermanator. He was one of the best fullbacks. He's one of my favorite guys to play with, man.
Run a lot of downhill plays. Don't get him going east-west. Just get the big fella moving north and south.
So he's going to be a fun piece to see how Andy Reid uses, and sure enough, I think he's gonna help out the team a lot this year, man.
Well, one of the great things about Carson Steele is he's just got a football name, Carson Steele. I mean, it's asking for a great nickname.
I'm just going to go with old Dundee, or I'll just call him Carson because his name is Carson.
And here's the picture why you call him Dundee. Here's his alligator. Very juiced. I mean, it's a big alligator, bro. Look at his neck. That's how you know that this guy's willing to run into things. When your neck is wider than your skull,
yep,
you're going to be good at running into stuff.
My neck is like right here. It's aligned with like the outsides of my eyes.
Typically, you'll notice most people's neck is not wider than their jawline.
Yep. That means they hit the fuck out of things.
Yeah, that means when you hit somebody with a neck that's not wider than your jawline, it exposes your spine a little bit. But when your neck is wider than your ears, your head's not going to move anywhere. You're basically a torpedo. That
means you are safe and you have your seatbelt on. That's exactly what that means.
So this guy's earrings, a neck wider. Look at his quads. This guy just been doing leg extensions all day. How do you even get quads like that?
Dude, he put on a leg sleeve for like recovery and like to reduce like swelling and stuff on his legs, and he was wearing it, and he expanded the sleeve so much that it looked like he had pantyhose on.
The only way I could be more like my stock higher on this guy is if he had a bunch of tattoos. Like if he had a bunch of like just like Jeremy Shockey tattoos, I'd be like, I'm all in on Carson Steele. He's got an alligator, earrings, a neck wider than the freaking Nile River, and he's got quads more cut up than something super cut up. I don't know.
It looks like his quad is overflowing over his knee right
Doesn't make sense. You can't even see his kneecap because of how big his quad muscles are. I don't even know that you do this.
My dog, Cars. He's getting torched right now.
His fucking hat. Look at how skinny that hat looks with his neck. This guy's fucking doing four-way neck, I'm telling you.
All right, man.
He could probably run into a brick wall and fuck that wall up pretty good.
That wall, I feel bad for that wall.
Yeah. All right. Let's get to the next guy, Hollywood Brown.
Hollywood Brown, baby.
Probably the biggest offseason move you guys made outside of the draft or anything else was signing Hollywood Brown. We'll get into some of the extensions and stuff here in a little bit. But yeah, Hollywood Brown, veteran wide receiver. But unfortunately, he is hurt right now. Is that safe to say? Has there been any injury information that's been released?
He's getting better. Yeah, he's getting better. I'm pretty sure it's public knowledge that he's out.
He's declared out for this week.
Yeah. He's excited to be able to play with Pat Mahomes in this offense. He's seen success. He's seen how it's ran, and he sees the accountability that is put on the wide receivers, and he's excited about that, man. He's very smart. Another guy that came into the building immediately wanting to learn, wanting to understand the nuances and the little things that make this offense go. And he's very detailed in his work and a smart player that can play fast, man. When he was out there, he's out there rolling, and he'll be an asset for him as soon as he gets back to full strength, man.
That's awesome. What he hurt?
Something in the shoulder, I believe.
Okay, one of those shoulder things.
Yeah.
In other Chiefs roster news, Creed Humphrey got paid. He set the bar, brand new for centers. Must be nice to play center. Signed a 4-year, $72 million contract extension.
Damn.
Including $50 million guaranteed. He is now the highest paid center in NFL history.
Damn.
And he deserves every penny of that contract. Creed has been, really since he got in the league, which has been unique for him, for the center position. Typically there's an onboarding process where you learn the trade and you got to, not Creed. He's been great from day one. He's been one of the best in the league, and I don't anticipate that slowing down anytime soon. And this is 4-year extension for $72 million.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, that's a big deal.
Worth
big
every freaking penny, like you said.
Do we know the APY? Is he now in like?
I think he's like 16, 17
16? Yeah. Well done, Bubba.
Yeah. No, he's like we said, he's worth every single penny, man. He's just so good in between the tackles, in space, getting to second level. He's one of those guys that can just do it all, man, on the offensive line. And on top of that, a guy that takes command, a guy that that is, in terms of a leader, is showing everybody nothing but the best. And I'm just happy as hell for the guy. One of my favorite teammates on this team. And sure enough, I didn't know it was this much money, but I knew that he got the extension during our preseason game. The news leaked during the game that he was signing an extension.
He went in there and he signed his contract and then got a hot dog in the locker room and went back out on the field.
Isn't that what a day?
That's
what a
day
at the
way to
ballpark.
sign.
What a day at the ballpark, baby.
Okay, $50 million, and that's good. Okay, where's the hot dogs?
I can smell them. Yeah, so shout out to Creed for getting that extension. The core of the Chiefs offensive line is now signed for an extended period of time here. So Chiefs Kingdom, you can get pumped on that.
Well done, Creed. Well, the other thing we've been hearing about all offseason is the three-peat. Yep, that's the storyline everybody is talking about with the Chiefs. I don't know if you know this, but it's never been done before. I'm sure nobody has mentioned this to you guys.
I did my research.
The one thing I've been noticing, you guys have been pretty open about discussing the three-peat. Is that fair to say?
I haven't told. Who have I talked to about it?
I feel like the first time I heard about the three-peat was from you guys right after you won the second one.
That's probably the only time we've really talked about it.
So now you guys are more focused on this getting week one, right?
You don't get to the Super Bowl by thinking about winning the Super Bowl. You get to the Super Bowl by slowly creating this routine of success week in, week out. We have to be a better team in December, in January, and in February than we are right now. And we know that it's a process that you have to go through. You know, you can't peak too soon. You can't look that far in advance and just assume that you're going to be there. You got to make sure that you're present every single day.
Yeah.
And you're putting in the work and practice. You're putting in the time to get right mentally before the game. And then on top of that, being real with yourself when you do play. And if it's a good game, it's a bad game, always finding a way to get better. And I think that mentality and that formula of success that Coach Reed has implemented here, I think that itself is that's what you got to focus on. You can't focus on anything down the line like that.
Before we wrap up Chiefs talk, let's talk a little bit about the season opener against the Ravens. This is a rematch from the AFC Championship game last year. Trav, you missed week one last year against the Lions. It was the first game you missed in...
Thanks for the reminder.
What was that, 9 seasons? 10 seasons?
I sucked, Jason.
All right,
I felt older last year than I feel right now. That's how I lost that game.
This game will have the banner raising, which is the last celebration of last year's Super Bowl. Are you ready to finally stop talking about last year?
I'm so done. I'm not even bringing up last year.
Yeah, you just bring it up every time you talk to me.
What? No, I bring up 2 years ago.
You never stop talking about it. You're like, oh, I don't know if you know this, but we won the Super Bowl last year.
No, I always say we won the last 2 years.
You make sure to remind me.
I think that I'm so done with this. I was kind of done with talking about last year after the ring ceremony. I'm so thinking forward and thinking about this game.
We're focused
on Thursday. I'm so focused on this year and just like I said, trying to get better every single week, man. Well,
Trey Smith is with you. He weighed in on this question. Winning the Super Bowl last year, no one cares about that. It's
nobody care about that
season.
Shit.
We care a lot. Nobody cares right now. We're focused on. It's a completely new season. We have to prove ourselves week in, week out. Love that quote from Trey. He's also one of my favorite guards to watch in the league.
I love that guy, man. Fuck.
It's the most exciting. For no reason at all. Do you want to watch Trey Smith wreck somebody's shit?
Yes.
It's like you read my mind, Brandon. How'd you know I wanted to see this? Is this the DB one?
This is like just watching.
Good evasion. Slaps him by him. Gets flat. That's the most important thing. Nobody knows this. Right after you get that release, you got to get flat. If you go upfield, you're going to miss that block. He goes flat and then just cold cocks this dude in the side of the head.
It's all about angles. It's all about angles in this league.
God, I love this block.
That's football, son. That's football, son. That's how football is supposed to be played.
That is not an anomaly. Trey Smith does these kind of blocks all the time.
That's why we love him, man.
Do you have any thoughts on the Ravens leading up to this first game? You just played them in the AFC title game. 2 very similar teams from last year. Not a lot of changes. Obviously, they lost Patrick McQueen. They've added Derrick Henry. They lost Jadeveon Clowney. A great player. Geno Stone.
Mm-hmm.
They have a new defensive coordinator, was promoted within, so you probably can assume it'll be a similar system as to they ran last year, since it's somebody that was in the organization.
Yeah, and then they have similar pieces. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Clowney might not be there, but they still got edge rushers. They still have a great defensive line. They have a core of good linebackers, yes. And then on top of that, they got one of the best secondaries, definitely one of the best safeties in Kyle Hamilton, who I think they'll give even more responsibility to now that he's, even more comfortable in the league, having the unbelievable season he had last year.
Do you think Kyle's going to want revenge?
I think the entire team is definitely going to be fired up for this one, yes. I've been in a situation where I've lost an AFC championship game and a Super Bowl at that. Yeah. And the next season, you come out pretty fired up and ready to wreak havoc, man.
Love it.